let's go over the hunting horn. This weapon is fantastic. You can ready the weapon by hitting triangle. I believe you can also ready it by hitting by hitting R2, and it goes directly into playing the song that you have prepared, if you have a song prepared. Right now, we do not have one. So how do you prepare songs with this? You don't even have to hit anything if you don't want to. You can hit something, so you just hit triangle to do that note, okay? Or if you don't want to, you can hit triangle out here, and it still builds up the note. So you don't actually have to hit anything with this weapon. Circle does this note, which is the red note, and then triangle, circle together does the yellow note. So you're trying to string those 3 different notes together to create different effects. And those effects are up at the top of the screen. One's about to fade right now, but we're going to pull those up. So self-improvement is the one that we currently have, which is triangle. Triangle is all you have to do for that. So we hit triangle and then triangle, and that's going to build self-improvement. Each time we hit triangle 2 times, it'll give us a self-improvement. And you can see that's what's coming up. So now if I wanted to play that self-improvement, I can hit R2, I can hit R2 plus triangle, or R2 plus circle, because I have those built up. I hit triangle 6 times in a row, so it gives me those 6 things. I can now hit R2, I can hit triangle R2 or circle R2. All of them are going to do the same thing. So now once we do that, it plays the song in order, right? And then at the end, it just ends. Now, that's not all you do with that, though. So what you want to note is that you can do a performance, what is it called? I think it's called a performance beat. That's what it is. And then finally an encore. So you can see that right here under perform, and then you have performance beat, and then you have encore. So what you want to do with that is you want to swing on every single beat. There's a visual that it shows you as well. So let's do that again. We're going to put self-improvement, so that's 2, and then that's 3. Now we can hit R2, and then every single beat, you'll see the instrument will light up, and you'll see the yellow bar will light up, and it'll kind of flash. So look for that flash on the yellow bar, or the instrument lights up white. At that time, you want to hit R2 again. You can honestly just spam R2 during that, and it'll also work. You don't actually have to time it perfectly, which is something that I felt was kind of weird, and I'm surprised that they did it that way, but maybe it was too difficult for some people to do. I don't know, and they just wanted you to be able to easily do it. So let's start that up. So you can sit there and spam the ability, and you can see boom, boom, and then encore on the 3rd one, and each of those gets an additional hit. So how does that work is if you have all 3 of these, okay, we're just going to use 2 for an example, and I'm standing next to this barrel right here, and I'd go into this. It's going to hit it 1 time, and then it's going to play the instrument, and that's it. That's all it's going to do. However, if I have that buff up and I do the performance beat and the encore, it's going to do significantly more damage, and it's because it's going to swing your weapon each time that you do it. So we have this. Boom, swing. Boom, swing. And then the last one, the encore, is really where you get the damage in. You get a bunch of extra damage in there. So that's basically how that works, how the performance works, performance beat and encore. Notice that it also gives you that buff, which is the self-improvement buff. You can see what the different buffs do, I believe, right? Self-improvement here. So increases movement speed. Playing encore for this melody will also raise your attack power and prevent your attacks from being deflected. So there's that. The attack buff just gives you an attack increase. This one is going to only give us a small. Sometimes you can get, a large buff or whatever. And then fire resistance gives you a fire resistance. And then there's echo wave. We'll go over the echo wave here in a minute once we go into the echo. So that's basically what those 3 different melodies are going to do with this particular weapon that we have equipped. Different weapons may do different things, so you want to look at that. But the starting weapon is those melodies. So now you can chain those together, and we can do self-improvement, and then we can follow it up with an attack up, and then we could follow that up with sonic waves. So now we can do sonic waves, attack up, small, and self-improvement all at the same time while we are hitting the enemy. So we do this, sonic waves, and then that, and you can see how this just keeps. And then we got the melody effect of all three of those as well, so it's an additional boost. Basically is how that works. Like I said, though, each hunting horn is going to be different. They're going to have different abilities and things that you can build up. They all work essentially the same, but you may want to use different ones for different bonuses. So that's basically how those work. The next thing is the offset melody. I want to talk about that very, very briefly because you can't really do it here, and this has confused a lot of people. But the offset melody, it shows up there that it is 4 total notes. You actually don't have to do those notes to do the offset melody. It's actually just hitting R2, triangle, and circle all at the same time. And that's when an enemy is about to hit you. So if the enemy is about to hit you, you do all 3 of those buttons, and it will basically deflect that attack and open them up to further attacks. It knocks them back. It's an offset attack is what it's called. There are several weapons in the game that have offset attacks. This is one of those weapons. So that is basically the mobility thing up there. So now we're going to talk about the Echo Bubble. And the Echo Bubble is a new thing, I believe, to Monster Hunter Wilds. I've never seen it in a previous Monster Hunter game that I'm aware of, but I also didn't play Hunting Horn a lot in previous games. So the Echo Bubble, when you do it, is going to be X and circle, and we're going to put it right here next to the barrel because I want to show you something about it. It puts it down on the ground like this. Okay, it also does a little bit of damage to the enemy when you put it down. Also notice that we have a third buff all the way up at the top above our health bar and everything. You can see that we have a third buff while we are standing in this. So we move a little bit faster. You can see what that third buff does by going here and looking at your Echo Bubble. And after setting an Echo Bubble, you will receive a special melody effect as long as you are within that. You'll also resonate as you perform. We're going to talk about the resonate as you perform play notes dealing damage to any nearby monsters. So I'm going to talk about that part in a second, but you get that additional buff which allows you to move around a little bit faster. If you walk outside of that, however, it will stay with you for a brief moment and then it fades, and then you can walk back into it and it comes back up. So that's basically how that buff works, but that's not the reason that you're going to be using this particular thing, the Echo Bubble. The reason you want to use the Echo Bubble is because every time you play a note, it will hit that Echo Bubble as well. Hang on, let me get the Echo Bubble down. There we go, put it down. So you can play a note, and you see how it does 6 damage when I play a note? It does 6 damage when I play a note. So you can see that it's doing damage, and I'm not near it. So anything that's inside that Echo Bubble will take an extra 6 damage. I can then even play my instrument and do a bonus damage as long as I hit the performance beats. Okay, so it does bonus damage anything inside of that. Because the Hunting Horn itself doesn't do the most damage when you're just attacking things by themselves. So you want to have the Echo Bubble down if you can near an enemy. The next thing is going to be you can store up notes while you're placing the Echo Bubble. And this allows you to basically prep one of your songs. So let's say, let's say you want to have Shockwave. Shockwave is hitting triangle, circle 3 times, which normally would be this right here. So 1, 2, 3. And you see how long it takes to build that up, right? However, and then I can play it. However, if I put down an Echo Bubble, we'll do it right here, I can instantly hit triangle, circle 3 times fast, and now I have shockwaves up, right? Instantly. And then I can instantly play that if I want to. So that's the cool thing about the Echo Bubble. As soon as you throw it down, you need to spam the ability or the whatever it is that you want to create. If you want to do shockwave, if you want to do small attack up or whatever, you have to spam those very fast. So it would be triangle, circle, triangle. So let's see if we can do that real quick. So we would put the Echo Bubble, triangle, circle, triangle. Now we have attack up, and we can do that. Okay, so basically you want to use your echo bubble to put multiple notes in very fast. Now, the other thing to note is that you can have up to 3 echo bubbles. You see that I have 2 down right now, and as long as I'm inside of them, I can continue to, keep that buff. So I can have up to 3 of these echo bubbles at once. I actually don't know if you can clear these echo bubbles, but you can have up to 3 of them at one time, and you can stack them on top of each other. So what you might want to do, if you have an enemy that's down on the ground, you don't have any notes saved up, so you can't really do any damage, but they're down on the ground, you're going to spam that echo bubble, and you're going to come over here. That may not go away fast enough, but we'll do 2 of them. You'll get the gist of it. So you do echo bubble, whoop, echo bubble, spam, 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 echo bubble, spam, spam, spam. Okay, and that's basically how. Well, I'm not doing a very good job of it, but it's echo bubble, spam, spam, spam to get that sonic waves, and then you put down echo bubble, and you continue to do that. Okay, so we have now 3. There we go. We got 3 of them down. And you can do that very, very, very fast once you get used to it. And now, every time I play a note, all 3 of those will actually hit that barrel or the enemy that's in there. So I play a note, you can see boom, 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 6 hits. If I do self-improvement, let's do that 3 times. So we have self-improvement. You can see that I can play those notes. That'll hit 3 times. That'll hit 3 times. And then the encore also hits 3 times, plus the bonus 3 times at the very end. So that's basically how that works. Now, if you're right next to the enemy when that happens, you'll do, again, more damage. So we're going to get 3 self-improvements. So now we're going to get all of that damage together by playing the song. And we're going to do that. We're going to play it all together. My echo buff went away. But you would be getting all that damage plus the bonus damage of hitting. So you can see how all of it adds up. You want to try to have 3 of those echo bubbles down on an enemy, especially if the enemy gets knocked down to the ground. Put up 3 of those very, very fast. So you basically go echo bubble, 1, 2, 3. Oops. That's offset melody right there. Echo bubble, 1, 2, 3. Echo bubble, 1, 2, 3. And then you would play it. And you can see how you can add that up very fast and do all that damage while the enemy's down on the ground. And that just builds and builds and builds and builds, right? I did the offset melody there, which doing that offset melody is weird to me. I'm not sure exactly how you get that to set up properly. Offset melody is triangle, and then you hit, there you go. Then you hit the circle, triangle, and R2 all at the same time. That's the offset melody right there. So you do actually have to build that up. But I think once you have it set, you can hit it any time. There's a way to set it. Again, not 100% sure how that works, but to get the offset melody, you do this, and then circle, and then this, and then triangle, offset melody, hit all those together, offset melody when they're trying to attack you. Anyway, that is the hunting horn. Hopefully I explained that all right. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of knowledge of what you can play, those kind of things, and then preparation for the enemy. You do want to come over to the enemy when they're on the ground. Put down these, and then do another one. We'll do another. Did I do all 3 of them? I think. Oh, no, I didn't do all 3. Put those down, and then play. You'll get used to it. You'll get much better at it the more you play with it. I don't play hunting horn a lot, but that is the gist of how this works. It can dish out quite a bit of damage, and it boosts your party, their attack, their speed, their mobility, stamina regeneration. It can do a lot of different things. So you just look at the weapon and see what it does.